Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you, or good morning. Yes, it's becoming ridiculous. What's happening right now is truly ridiculous. We have a document originating from the American intelligence services. We know the American intelligence services, they are the most powerful in the world and are very good at keeping secrets. But this document about the accuracy of the American strikes on the three Iranian sites, this document was leaked. There was an intelligence leak, yes, but in this leaked document, it completely contradicts everything the authorities have announced, what Donald Trump has announced, what others have announced. Well, J.D. Vance, the vice president, wanted to remain cautious. He didn't go too far in his statements. That's it. So he's not really being targeted. The document was leaked. The document completely contradicts Donald Trump. If I tell you, things are very tense right now. The action Donald Trump took is having an impact on him. So the document was leaked. What does the document say? And right now, things are very tense within the American administration. It's a tough war. It's a tough war between Donald Trump and his intelligence service. Already, the director of the American intelligence service, or the National Intelligence Service, had been publicly disavowed by Donald Trump in front of the media before the strike. And today, it continues. People are wondering how it's even possible that this document could have leaked. Why did they leak it? It must be said that they deliberately leaked the document. Why did they leak the document? Yes, because when they present their report, certainly when they present their report to Donald Trump so he can rely on it, and communicate, Donald Trump says it's not true, they are wrong, since the document doesn't say what Donald Trump wants to hear. I'm telling you, this is sowing division. It's complete chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video conference, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But as usual, you know very well, before we continue, I humbly ask you to share this video conference. This video conference needs to be shared everywhere so that our brothers and sisters can hear and witness the attitude of this head of state. Yes, the American head of state who presents himself to the world as some kind of so-called leader. Let's dive deeper, leave plenty of likes, and above all, don't forget to always share your opinion in the comments. And if this is your first time coming across my video conference, my name is Robert Théa, that's my legal name. I am a lecturer and researcher at the law faculty of the largest university in the Republic of Kiev. I am the president of the Guinean political party called the Citizens Party in Service of the Republic, a committed Pan-Africanist to the core. Yes, I am Guinean by nationality, but very often I am also Burkinabe, Malian, Nigerian, Congolese, Togolese. There you have it. So let's dive deeper. Yes, there are classified reports, notably from the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA. These are reports from the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA of the Pentagon. Do you know what the Pentagon is? When we talk about the Pentagon in the United States of America, you have to understand. These reports have recently leaked, and these reports contradict President Donald Trump's claims that the American strikes on the three Iranian nuclear sites, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, completely and totally obliterated Iran's nuclear program. These preliminary intelligence assessments suggest that the impact of the strikes will be much more limited. The impact of the strikes would have been much more limited than what has been publicly stated by the American administration. According to these leaks, the Iranian nuclear program would have only been delayed by a few months, not by several decades, as Donald Trump claimed in his statement. So, what's the worst part? The worst part, let me tell you, is that things are heating up for Donald Trump. The worst part is that the reports indicate that Iran's key enrichment capabilities. Yes, Iran's key enrichment capabilities may have been damaged, but not destroyed, and they could be restored within a few months. So, Iran's actual ability to acquire nuclear weapons has been somewhat damaged, but it can quickly be restored within a few months and not wiped out as Donald Trump wants the world to believe. So, I'm telling you, what's the worst part? According to the report, this is now happening between Americans themselves, meaning the American president, the American administration, and the American administration with its intelligence services. So, the absolute worst part of the situation is that the highly enriched uranium and the numerous centrifuges remain completely intact after the devastating strikes, which was a significant concern. The centrifuges, as I said, the ones they use for enrichment, as well as the uranium already enriched to 80%, remained intact. So, anonymous sources familiar with the assessment indicated that Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium were likely not destroyed and that the key centrifuges remain largely intact. It is even suggested that a large portion of the highly enriched uranium may have been moved from the site. That's what the document says. And we had already said that here. 16 trucks transported the material very discreetly. It was deposited in a secure location that no one knows about. So, the problem as well is that the document tells us that regarding the underground facilities, despite the use of 3,000-pound bunker buster bombs about 13.6 tons, right on the Confordo site, buried 90 meters underground, the underground infrastructures themselves may not have been destroyed. The infrastructures remained intact. It was the tunnel entrances that were reportedly sealed by debris. So the debris closed off the tunnel entrance. When God acts, he drops the bomb, he blows things up, the rocks, and then the debris comes to close the tunnel entrance so that nothing can enter or get inside. That's what their report says. Even God's angels came to block the way. Nothing negative will happen to it. Because thanks to this significant development, the Iranian people will undoubtedly command profound respect from the entire world. So here's precisely what absolutely needs to be said and understood. Here's what the report says. Now, the crucial question that arises is, did this significant report genuinely leak entirely on its own, considering such a remarkably powerful and highly sophisticated intelligence service? How could this particular service possibly allow such sensitive and important documents to inadvertently leak to the public? No, it didn't leak. They made it available to the public so that the world could see that they are doing their job, they are paid for it. They took an oath, they are paid for it. I don't know if they took an oath, sorry. But they committed themselves within the American administration for this job. They can only work honestly, loyally, and with dignity. Now, since the content of this particular report truly doesn't suit Donald Trump, he emphatically states that the entire report is completely and utterly wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top story of the news. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I'll be back with more information shortly. That was the voice of your one and only samurai.